Definitely excited to be here just because we're getting closer to the season. A lot of practices, and our girls are getting a little antsy about just kind of playing against each other and the practice guys. We've had a couple scrimmages where we've seen some things that were very good, but also some things that we need to continue to kind of work at and work on. As you guys know, we don't have a lot of depth, so just kind of like finding the not just the time, but also the energy in order to just kind of get our girls in the best shape, but also not wear them down too early in the season. So a lot of tweaking here and there, but as of now, we're feeling good about where we are.
So, Coach, I know you guys have been waiting, but any news on Danny Lawson's hardship waiver?
Nope, we haven't got any official news yet. We're still kind of working at it. I don't want to say that it kind of looks promising or not. I kind of don't want to, I guess, lean on it in any way until we actually get a decision. I mean, it's one of those things where you can't necessarily have a feeling about that it can go in our favor or not. So Danny is practicing. I mean, she is physically looking really good. She's gotten to the place where she could actually participate in a full practice. So if she's able to play, then she will be available to in good enough shape to help and contribute to the team.
Does it seem pretty late in the process for them not to have given you a decision, or is
I don't
it
know.
normal?
This is the first time I've ever gone through this experience, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, even when I was at Texas, we haven't had a circumstance like this, so I mean, this is the first overall.
And you touched on that lack of depth. How do you kind of combat that?
Well, we have to be in really good shape, first of all, and stay out of foul trouble. So it's just a matter of us, playing in a way that we stay out of foul trouble, and that we continue to work in a way that our shape continues to get better, and that, we don't peak at the wrong time, but we're steady enough that we can get through an entire season.
Felicia took a big step from year one to year two. You've been working with her for a number of months now. What do you see as her ceiling as a post player?
Her ceiling? I don't know if she necessarily has one. I think that she can continue to improve. I mean, she has a wealth of knowledge of the game. To me, a lot of it is confidence, which, I mean, that's what it is in most players. I think the fact that I've allowed her to be a lot more versatile in a sense, and just kind of being comfortable with her abilities. I mean, she is getting up to the high post a lot more, as well as taking advantage of the shot, the fact that she can take and make jump shots, not taking that away from her at all, as well as working on her ball handling. I mean, she's going to be in positions where she can put the ball on the floor, so we definitely want that to be something that she is able to do and continue to get better at that. So I would say more than anything, confidence that the things that she's shown that she can do, that she can execute them in the game.
Coach, can you bring us up to speed on what's the situation of point guard? Obviously, Bree got a lot of run last year, but you didn't have Amity available. Can you just address where that is right now?
Well, we're leaning on our versatility. I don't think that we actually have a true point guard, that's their true position. I mean, Bree is also a scorer by nature. She shoots the ball and penetrates very well. The same thing with Dean. So we're going to lend to our versatility, and we're going to have several people in that position. We want to play a running style, so at any time it could be a number of players bringing up the ball and starting our offense.
What have you discovered about this team that you really like, and has anything surprised you?
Well, before I actually got to meet them, I think that I liked, not knowing them personally, just how hard they worked and just the level of work ethic. That's something when you're going into any program that you never want to be a problem, and the fact that that definitely helps. We have big personalities on our team. I think that's great. The more we get comfortable and just kind of expressing them in a way that I would probably say bleeds into our teammates or their teammates, in the sense that, the exciting moments that you have in plays and executing things and finishing shots and ones, that they get excited about that they kind of, run to each other, pick each other up, and bump each other every now and then. I think that we have several people that exude that from time to time, but if they can pour that into their teammates, it would definitely change not just the confidence of our team, but just the activity.
Could you talk a little bit about your goals for the season?
Goals is to win games. I mean, we do lack in depth, so it is going to be, in my opinion, individually for our team or for some players in particular, a tiresome season, but that's the reality of where they are. And some of us are going to have to dig really, really, really deep and kind of put, not in a lot of minutes, but just kind of put this team on their shoulders on several occasions, but also for our players to mature. I mean, we have to mature in a way that many of us have not been in the circumstances that I'm going to put them in going into this season. And it takes a lot, some pretty quick maturity. So I'm looking for us to continue to work hard, but not just be discouraged by that. I mean, being a student athlete is tough. At the University of Virginia, even tougher. And if we can take on that responsibility and be glad about it, it'll definitely make a difference in our season.
What's the sticky note count on your desk at this point?
The sticky note count is quite high. I try to remove them. I've now started putting them in a notebook because it was starting to look a little messy.
How much of what you're going to ask them, how you're going to ask them to play, because they were pretty defense-oriented last year, how much of what you guys are going to try to do this year is a real diversion or just an about face from what they did last year?
We're still going to be a defensive team. I mean, it's something that we talk about daily, but we need to score more. So encouraging our team to be offensive-minded is something that I've done from day one. I mean, we have to score points. Defense for sure wins championships, but takes some points here and there to actually kind of secure those wins. So confidence in shooting the ball, but also being comfortable and free-flowing and scoring the basketball is very important. So that is definitely a point of emphasis for us.
Speaking of points of emphasis, back in the summer you told me finishing at the rim was one of your top priorities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been a few months, but have you seen progress in that area?
Absolutely. We are so much better at that. And that is definitely one of the bright spots, like for us, just being comfortable at getting the rim. I just think that, offense is so much of it is confidence, but also the freedom to do so. And when you feel like you don't have to kind of look at your coach, or you don't, your teammates are not looking at you a certain way when you take shots, that the attitude of offense is free-flowing, and the attitude that we need to put up as much points as possible changes the dynamic, and it brings a comfort, and it takes away, I guess, the tense feeling like of that. I'm not sure what the attitude about offense was before, but I've always been a scorer. It's been something that has been an emphasis on the teams that I've been a part of, and it's something that I want to continue. So whether they like it or not, I'm going to turn this team into a scoring team. But in my opinion, or just as history shows, that teams that are able to score are a lot happier than most.
Kind of following up on that, do you have numbers in mind, like we'd like to average X amount of points a game or shoot X% from the floor or anything like that, or is it just kind of how it unfolds?
Well, not yet. I think that we have to create the attitude first. I think it's very difficult to, or believe that it's very difficult to set goals on something that you're not yet comfortable doing. So I think that once we kind of have a baseline of just where we are, and first creating the comfort, that then we can kind of have conversations about shot choice and things like that. But we have to want to take tough shots and big shots and make big plays before we start kind of counting what they look like.
Monet Jones came here as a well-regarded recruit, and she's been dealing with injuries throughout her career here. I think she's about as healthy as she's been at Virginia. Is it realistic to expect a significant contribution from her this year, and do you?
I do. I have high expectations of Monet. I am aware of her history. The fact that she's healthy is big for us because it helps in our numbers, but her contribution is really important. I mean, we just can't rely on just a couple players to carry us throughout the season. So Monet's contribution is very important, and it's something that we talk about pretty often.
Coach, you've come in and taken over a program that has a pretty solid core of veterans, Joss, Dom, and Fee especially. Has that kind of made your job of almost rebuilding this program easier? And what have you seen out of those three in terms of leadership?
Easy? Absolutely not. And I wouldn't necessarily say rebuilding. I think that we're just contributing to a pretty solid foundation. We don't have to rebuild when you have a core like that, but we just kind of have to change the mindset. We're just giving it a facelift, so to speak, in a sense that, we're going to have to add pieces to help that core, and we're going to have to ask people to contribute to help them as well. I mean, and the seniors that we lost last year were relied on rather heavily. So not just are the other players that we're relying on. I think that the roles that Nikki, Joss, and Fee are going to be in as well are going to be a little different. I mean, they're being thrown into a position of leadership that when I first got here, I don't think that they were ready for. And the stuff that I've demand of them in regards to leadership is a little different. They have to be a little bit more vocal and lead by examples that they haven't yet set, but are very capable of doing so. And I think that in those roles, they've grown very much so. But it's going to be a process for sure.
Jocelyn was among the students honored here the other day with intermediate honors. Do you hold her up as an example to the rest of the team of kind of what they can and should aspire to, academically as well as athletically?
Well, I mean, one thing that I tell our team is that they are individuals. I mean, all of them are individuals. And Jocelyn is she's different, but in a very good way. I mean, she's special in just the things that to student athletes around the country. I mean, there's not very many student athletes that are comparable to her. There is an expectation as a team that we want to uphold academically. I don't put the pressure on Jocelyn as well as her teammates to be like her. They're not her. They're different, but they can also be successful in the way that suits them.
In talking about the acquisition of talent, I know you can't talk much about the recruiting trail specifically, but what kind of response are you getting as a first-time head coach with, your background?
Very good. I mean, we've, in a very short period of time, gotten able to get really close to signing some top players. So I think that that is something to look forward to, the fact that we're in the top 5 or getting down to the top 2 of players. That doesn't necessarily lead to getting them, but it puts us in a space that we are in the conversation. And people are talking about it, and some people are happy for us and some people aren't. So I think that that is a good thing when people are paying attention and not happy about the fact that you are in the top 5 with them. That means that you're a viable option. So, I mean, someone would take that kind of negatively and be upset about it, but I'm happy at the fact that people are unhappy that we're meeting the top kids in the country, top 5 and top 10.
There were a lot of people who, when you came here, with Felicia especially because of your history, thought that she could make huge strides this year. That, they envisioned you guys in the gym at 11 o'clock at night working on stuff and, whatever. How's that gone?
Well, I think that's a little unrealistic, especially with the time constraints. But once we get to the point that we can spend as much time as possible, then that is definitely possible. But the reality is that I expect a lot of Fee every single day, like in practice. There are moments where we have specific conversations about things that I want her to do and how I want her to do them. But for sure, it's something that will happen over time. Is she improving? Absolutely. Is it going to happen overnight? No, and I wouldn't put that kind of pressure on her.
Opening up with Mississippi State, has that helped accelerate some of the preparation, got your players' attention as opposed to just open up with a cupcake?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think that if I was putting together the schedule, then that wouldn't be my first game. I mean, it wouldn't be my choice. But are we afraid of the fact that it is? Like, absolutely not. Like, my kids are tough, and they're going to work. And in my opinion, they are gamers. So when the lights turn on, they're very different than what I see every single day. They do have the ability to play possum, or at least a few of them do. So, when the lights are on and when the buzzer sounds, they are a little different. So is Mississippi State a tough game? Yes, they're a tough game for anybody in the country, but we're not shying away from that. I mean, if we want to be the best, then we have to beat the best, and there's no getting around that. I mean, I remember being their age and not getting very much attention, and for me, it didn't matter. It was, okay, this is the gym that has the top players in the country, so who are they? Oh, it's her and her and her. Okay, what time do I play her?
Tracking back to even your playing days and when you got into coaching early on, did you always have ideas in the hopper or on the back burner that maybe you weren't able to install unless you had complete control of a program like you do now? And just take me through that, what that's been like being a first-year head coach, you know, being able to call pretty much all the shots.
Well, for sure. I think that definitely is the difference. I mean, when you're assisting, you know, you're giving ideas that you think might work. When you're the head coach, you're applying the ideas that you think may work. That definitely gives me a sense of comfort because I've always been a leader from the front and never from behind. I mean, it's something that I felt comfortable doing and I excelled at. Because I was a student athlete at a high level, I understand the rigors of this job. It's really hard. You know, it's really hard to be a student athlete, especially at a Power 5 school. It's not something that is easy. So there are things that we can work at as a staff that doesn't make this or their journey easier, but it doesn't have to be harder. It doesn't have to be a lot more difficult. We can remove things. We can create an environment that exudes growth and that they're looking forward to going into, knowing the work is absolutely hard. I love the fact that I can be in control of that I can narrate what their day looks like.
Any last questions for Coach, or we'll bring up the student athletes? All right.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.